I've been seeing these 3D glass icons absolutely everywhere at the minute. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I made mine. And I'm going to cover quite a few different techniques that you might not expect and might be quite new to you. So let's dive in. So in After Effects, we can use any shape that we want. I'm going to go ahead and use a star. So I'm just going to draw a star in the center of my comp here. And let's just go into our polystar options here, and under polystar path, I'm just going to set my points to 4, and we'll increase the inner radius and also the inner roundness to give us this kind of nice circular shaped star. And then I'll just rename this to be a 3D shape. Now we're going to need to make this 3D, so let's go ahead and turn on the 3D button. And if we go over here to the 3D options and the renderer, we're going to be wanting to use the advanced 3D renderer for this. Now, it's also given us new options because of that renderer with the geometry options and the material options. So let's go ahead and open up our geometry options. And in my extrusion depth, I'm going to set that to about 125. And down in my material options, let's change some of these as well. So I'm actually going to increase my intensity to 100. And on my specular shininess, I'm going to change that to be 90. Now, we can't actually see how this shape is looking. So let's just press R on our keyboard and rotate this shape around a little bit. But you can see our anchor point is not centered. So let's do Control, Alt, and Home, and then Control and Home just to center that. And I'm just going to add a bit of negative to this X rotation, and we'll just increase the Y so we get kind of a nicer angle on this, and we can see kind of how this 3D extrusion is working. Now I'm just going to press T on my keyboard as well, and I'm just going to lower the shape opacity to about 80 so we can kind of see through it. Obviously glass you can see through, so we don't want a solid shape. And we need to add some light into this, so I'm going to go up to Layer, New, and Light. And if you want to, you can set up your own lights with a parallel spot and points, but I'm actually going to use an environment light, and this is going to allow me to use a HDR image for our light source. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK. Now, if you've never used HDRIs before, they do kind of look a bit weird, but all it's doing is using the light data from this image. So I'm actually using one called Brown Studio 01, and this is from Polyhaven. Now, these are free for commercial use and free to download as well under a CC0 license. So it's a great source of HDRI images if you want them. Now, in After Effects, to use these, all we need to do is drag this image into our timeline. And under our environment light, you can see we have light options and source. I'm going to change this to be our EXR file that we've dropped in. And now it's going to use that as our light source. Now you can see this is definitely a bit too much at the minute. So I'm actually going to reduce the intensity to about 50. And if I press R on this, we can actually rotate this image around as well to give us a different lighting angles. So I'm actually going to set mine to around kind of here. I don't want too much on the front. I'm kind of liking that light catching on the back there. So maybe we'll go with something like this. Maybe we'll go to about 230 and just round that out. We're getting a bit of light caught throughout, and it'll look kind of nice when we begin to get the refractions in. So speaking of refractions, we need to get that look of dispersion. I think that's what's really selling the glass look in this. So first thing we're going to do is pre-comp this shape. So I'll select all of those and press Control Shift and C, and I'm just going to call that 3D shape. And now what we need to do is split out the colors of the RGB values. So we're going to want a red, a green, and a blue. And a really easy way to do this is to add the colorama effect to this shape. So I'm actually going to add the colorama, and then under the output cycle, we're going to use a preset palette, and I'm going to set it to ramp red. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and under the output cycle of this one, I'm going to set it to ramp green, and then I'm going to duplicate that again, and under the output cycle, we're going to change it to ramp blue. So we have the 3 different values. Now, if I select these and press F4 and change the blending mode to screen, you can see we're back to our original image, just a bit more desaturated. So now to get that dispersion kind of look, I'm actually going to select my first 3D shape here, and I'm going to add a displacement map effect. Now, under the displacement layer, we kind of need to rename these so we can see what's going on. So let's rename these and keep everything organized. We're going to have red, the bottom, green, and then blue. And it's just going to make it easier when we're referencing these layers. Under the red, where I've added the displacement map, I'm going to reference the green one, and we're going to use the green for the horizontal and vertical displacement, and we can change that up to about 10. And then I'm going to copy this displacement map effect, and we also want to use the effects and mask, under the source layer. And then I'm just going to copy this displacement map and paste that to the green, and then we'll set the green one to use the blue layer. and we'll change those to be both blue, and maybe we'll reduce that displacement a bit. And you can always play around these values as much as you like. It's all kind of personal taste. So if you wanted, you could make that really extreme and have some crazy kind of dispersion look going on, or you can make it really small. It's all up to you. And then we're going to duplicate that once more. So I'll copy that with Control and C, paste that to my blue. And this time we want to reference the green and use the green layers of those as well. And we can change the displacement on that. And you can see that we're getting this kind of dispersion look just by dialing in these values. Now what's happening with this is we're getting these really jagged edges, which really doesn't look nice at all. So a really easy fix for that is I'm just going to add a simple choker to this. And I'm just going to set that to a value of about 2. And then I'll copy that and paste that to both my layers below. And you can see it's just brought those edges in. Now we might need to increase that. Maybe we'll go up to about 3. And I'll do that for all of them as well. And it's just going to bring that outer edge in using the alpha channel to kind of soften that off, and it'll kind of cut off those jagged edges. So it kind of solves that problem. So now let's add a bit of color into this. So I'm going to duplicate one of these, and I'm just going to change it to be color in the name. And I'm going to change the mode to be overlay. We can get rid of the displacement map if we want to. Now we could use the colorama here if we wanted to, but I'm going to delete that off mine. And I'm going to go down into my favorite stuff. We're going to use layer styles. So I'm going to add an inner glow, and I'm going to right click that layer again, go to layer styles, and we'll add a gradient overlay as well. You can see it's certainly not what we're after. So in our gradient overlay, we'll change the blend mode to be overlay as well. And then we can go in and edit our gradient. And this is where we're going to input all of our colors. So I'm going to go with like a nice blue, and we'll add a little purple in as well. And maybe we'll get a kind of a blue color in the middle, and we'll just switch those around, kind of see how that looks. And you can see that's kind of doing what we're after. We're getting a bit of color in there, but you can increase the saturation of these values if you want a bit more color in that. And it's all, again, personal preference. So I'm then just going to go to my inner glow layer, and I'll just change the color of this to be kind of like a purpley color or a pinky color. I want a bit more in that. And we can just increase the size on the edges then. You can see exactly what's happening. But maybe that pink's a bit too much. Maybe we'll go like a nice blue color. And again, you can change this to whatever you like. Now, just to interrupt, if you struggle with coming up with your own project ideas and knowing how to take them from an idea through to the final animation, then my brand new course, Project Essentials, might interest you. In that course, I'll take you from a concept right through to creating the final animation, and you'll learn all my best tips and tricks along the way. If you want to learn more about that, you can check that out using the link in the description below. But back to the video. So now we're going to duplicate this color layer as well, and we need to create a displacement map. So we'll go ahead and call this one displacement. And I'm just going to open up these layer styles, and let's solo that so we can see what's going on. And this time I don't want the gradient overlay, so I'm just going to delete that off. And on the inner glow, I want to set this to be white. And we can increase the size a bit more. And then I'm going to add a channel mixer effect to this. And you'll see at the minute it's done nothing, but we're actually going to take this monochrome button, and that's just going to grayscale it out a little better. And then I'm also just going to change the blending mode back to normal. And then I'll de-solo that, and we can actually turn that layer off for the minute. So now let's begin to add some more effects that really sell this glass look, because it's getting there, but it's still not quite right. So I'm going to add a new adjustment layer with Control, Alt, and Y, and we'll rename this to Noise. And then we're going to add, if you didn't guess by the name, the noise effect. Now what this is going to do is add that kind of color dispersion all throughout our shape. And you can make this whatever you want. Maybe you want tons of it, maybe you want a little bit. I'm going to set mine to about 20. And then all I'm going to do is track map this to my displacement layer instead. And I want to use the Luma matte, and that's going to use the black and white values of that layer. So if we turn that back on, you can see it's actually a bit too bright at the moment. So maybe I want to reduce the size of that inner glow and get a bit more darkness in that. And then when we turn that back on and we turn off the displacement, you can see how that noise is going to be affected by those values. And I'm actually just going to invert that matte as well. And then you can see it's only affecting the kind of brightest parts on the edges of that shape there. Very, very subtle, but it just adds a little bit. So then we'll go ahead and add a new adjustment layer with Control, Alt, and Y, and we'll call this one Glass. And then to this, I'm going to add the CC Glass effect. Now, at the minute, this certainly isn't doing what we want. So let's open up the surface properties here, and we'll change the map source to be displacement, and we'll set that on effects and masks as well. And then I'll just reduce the height to about 10, and then I'll change the displacement down to about 20 as well. And once more, I'm just going to track map that to my displacement layer, just so it keeps it inside those edges as well. And now I'm going to add a CC light sweep effect to this adjustment layer as well. And this is going to give us a little more shine in that glass. You can see if I was to drag this kind of anchor point around this layer, it gives us that little sheen. So we could certainly animate this as well if we wanted to, or we could leave it in one place. I'm just going to add one at the top there, and then I'll duplicate that, and I'll add one down the bottom as well. And we could rotate this round if we wanted to. Again, it's all kind of personal taste, and you can animate these, play with them as much as you're liking. If you wanted to, you could also change the color of these light sweeps as well to kind of play around with the overall look, and maybe we'll make one of them blue. I think that looks quite nice having that down at the bottom. So now let's actually sell this a bit more with some background objects behind this, and you'll kind of see exactly what I mean when we begin to layer this up a bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop a gradient background in, just so it's easier, but you could use this with a 4-color gradient or something like that. And you can see my noise is inverting onto that background. So let's make sure that that's off and it's only affecting this layer here. I should not have inverted it. That was a mistake on my part, but we do things and we learn. So I'm just going to drop this background in for now. And then I'll also add some text into my scene as well. Now this could be objects, it could be text, it could be a window, whatever it might be that you want behind this icon. The effects that we're going to add is really just going to sell that illusion of it being glass or ice kind of thing. So you can make this whatever you want. I'm just going to call mine kind of background text or something like that. Or maybe I'll just leave it as background. And I'm just going to center this with Control Alt and Home. And then I'll do Control and Home. And I kind of like this font already. Maybe I'll just make it a little bigger and I'll recenter that as well. I'm just going to drag this below all of our shape layers. So it's just above the background. And you can see right now, it doesn't look very exciting at all. So let's go ahead and fix that. So we'll create a new adjustment layer just above this text. And I'm going to call this one Behind the Glass. Now again, I'm going to alpha map this to our displacement layer. And then we can add all the effects, and it's only going to impact everything inside that layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a hue and saturation. And I just want to change the hue a little bit through the back of that layer. And it'll just do the tiniest of little details. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a fastbox blur effect. And I'm just going to set that up to about 3. I want it quite minimal, but you can see everything behind this kind of glass shape is now getting blurred a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a displacement map as well. Now we'll change this to use the displacement layer. And for the horizontal displace, I'm going to set that to luminance. And I'm going to do that for the vertical as well. And we can set these values whatever we like. I kind of found that 1010 was a really good value. And you can see it's kind of displacing that text. If we turn that on and off, it's just changing those lines on that text. And again, kind of that, it's the kind of look you would get if you were looking through maybe some glass or some ice or something like that. I'm then just going to add a camera lens blur to this adjustment layer. And again, for the blur map, we'll set that to our displacement. And I'm just going to increase the blur to about 10. Now you could make this as high as you like, and the more you blur it, the kind of more of a frosted glass look you're going to get. But I kind of found 10 worked nice for what I was going for. So now just one final way that we can finish this off is just by adding a CC glass effect to this layer as well. And under this one, we're going to go down to the surface. And once again, we'll change the bump map to our displacement layer. And we'll use effects and masks on there. And you can already see what it's doing, but we can make this look a little better. So let me make sure that that's back on. And I'm just going to increase the height to about 100. And then on the displacement, I'm going to change that to be 200. And you can see that's really just going to affect that overall look. And it really helps with those refractions through this glass. So we could sell this a little more, and we could split out and we could pre-comp anything that's below and split those out into red, green, and blue channels and do what we just did to make refraction. But a really fast way to do that is with a free plugin called Quick Chromatic Aberration, which I use all the time. And I'm just going to add that to this layer. And then we can increase this position to something kind of extreme. So let's set that to 5. And you can see that we're getting even more refractions through that glass layer. And I think that really helps to sell that look of glass within our scene. And then right now, perhaps the lighting isn't in the best place, so we could kind of rotate this round. But ideally, this would be animated and we kind of have a few different frames on this layer. Now, as always, play around with these different values to create different setups to your liking. This is one that I liked the most when I was experimenting around, but your After Effects journey doesn't have to stop there. If you want to learn some more After Effects, why not go ahead and check out this video next?